First trouble in paradise regarding whether to move forward on an educational hub in downtown Hagerstown. It was bound to happen. This is downtown Hagerstown we were talking about after all. Nothing moves forward without a fight. Jim, what's your take on all this?
So, I would argue that it's not downtown Hagerstown at this point that has the issue. It's Washington County, because the vote was 4-3 in favor, so it is moving forward at least at this point. And yes, there's a debate, and there will be continued debate on it. But frankly, in my opinion, the naysayers on this are naysayers on everything. So why should I expect any difference here? Well, at least two of them are.
Yeah.
Every single time.
Every single time.
Every single time. You know what? And I have to say, there's, when Dr. Wilcox presented to the county commissioners that same day, all right, and comments that were made by sitting commissioners, Leroy Myers had a quote in the article in the paper that talked about, that he feels that they should be looking more at a public-private partnership with a lease on the building, which I got to admit, hey, high five. I truly believe in that. I believe that it's less expensive. Now, you don't have an asset to put on your books, okay?
That's not always a bad thing.
That's right, that's not. But it's less expensive in the long run. The maintenance is all done by the owner of the building and not by the school system.
Right.
And I believe that really is the way to go.
And in the unlikely event it doesn't work, you leave.
Yeah, I mean, you're not beholden forever and ever.
Could we do that in the downtown area?
Of course you can.
Absolutely.
Of course you can. Yes, indeed. We talked about doing that when we were looking at maybe moving the Board of Education downtown itself, to have a developer actually own the building and them lease the building. And would have cost them hundreds of thousands of dollars a year less, but they wouldn't own the building, and they would, but they would always have improvements that are made to the building. I mean, that's why the Board of Education, was in the kind of state that it was the fact that, you didn't have improvements for 50 years, and people still had, dirt floors under their carpeting. So, but, one of the things that bothered me about that county commissioners meeting was the statement that was made by, Woody Spong, and which really set me off the last time I was on the flip side with my,
Woody Watch?
Yeah, with my Woody Watch, yeah. But I mean, the problem is, he states that, he feels that, much like Guessford and them, that, they're hiding money, that they're building up this big fund, something, hiding money's not bad all the time.
So, well, it seems to me to be a sideshow.
You know what? This reminds me of the Tom Ryford thing in the newspaper. That Tom Ryford was doing this and Tom Ryford was doing that, and then finally, when they opened their books after we had lost Tom,
right? He was right.
There was nothing.
Nothing. And no smoking gun sitting there.
And I bet I would be willing to bet my last dollar that there's no smoking gun here either.
Oh, there's not. There's not. And you know what? Even with Wilcox's statement about the reason why they didn't spend the 1.5 million or whatever it was on academics by buying school books or whatever is because they needed somebody in charge of that and they didn't have anybody at the time. Yeah. So why waste money on something that maybe the person who's coming in doesn't want to do? So,
I think though the main idea of the thing itself, which we should be discussing, is a wonderful idea. When I grew up in Springfield, Massachusetts, interesting thing that we had one of the best school systems in the country at the time. City of about 150,000 people. They had an academic hub in the center of the city that included a high school for basically liberal arts, a high school for tech science, a high school for business, and then later they built a trade school. In the center of all of this was the gigantic public library, the city museums. It was great. And if you're looking to do something for Hagerstown, it seems to me, you're bringing students in, teachers, parents, and these young people are getting used to
being downtown.
Which I think is important.
Another benefit about leasing is that It actually is on the tax rolls for the
Right.
city and the county, as opposed to the Board of Education owning it.
Well, and
paying
the
taxes.
educational hub, the type of programs that I understand they're looking at down there are going to bring the older students down. So they're going to have programs at night. And you know what? I can't help but think if you have the good people on the street, maybe the bad people may find elsewhere to go.
That's
I've
what
heard that
usually
before someplace
happens.
over and over and over again.
You know?
Somebody who's smarter than me said that over and over and over.
But you know the naysayers, they're going to be naysayers, and you know I think Dr. Wilcox, his quote was, "It was a good first step, but there's a lot of work to be done," and there is a lot of work to be done. You know the other thing that occurs to me, or that I was interested in looking at the article, was that at least one of the dissenting votes said, "Oh well, this is just an attempt to fix the Barbara Ingram School that just wasn't done right." Yeah, right. No.
Well,
Well, you know, I mean, and in that same article, they talked about how school board member Gessler read from a prepared statement, but they didn't put the prepared statement in the paper. I would have liked to have seen
Yeah,
that, you know, at least read it or heard what he had to say. You know, it's and what's ironic is that he actually sits on that committee.
yeah.
You know, and he didn't, you know, and now he comes up with this.
He's bringing it up now.
Yeah.
You know, so I don't know, but it seems to me such a worthy thing, at least to try to do, instead of having these side issues about hiding money or possibly, and I know there's other bad blood there
It's gonna be
that
funny
seems to
as-
be spilling over into this.
It's going to be funny as, you know, how are they going to get the, you know, where are they going to get the 1.5 million from the city of Hagerstown?
Right. Well, that'll be the next.
That's
That
what I
might
want
be
to
a-
know.
That'll be the next body of naysayers. So the board members that voted for it were Donna Brightman, president of the board, Justin Hardings, president of the board, and Jackie Fisher. Those, and who else?
The fourth.
Who's the fourth? Donna Brightman. Wayne Rydner.
Wayne Rydner,
Wayne Rydner.
yeah,
So forth. The dissenters were Mr. Gessard,
Right.
Ms. Harshman, no surprise there. Ms. Williams, absolutely no surprise there. You know, if I had to choose which of the two buckets of those folks I want to put my stock in, yeah, I'm going.
Wouldn't
with,
be that
I'm going with
bucket,
Rydner and
Ed Al,
that
right.
team. Yeah, Ed Al.
Exactly.
So
Well, you know, and, yeah, I mean, I think that Justin Hardings had a great quote in the paper, you know, about how it's not hiding money.
It's not.
It's, you know.
And there's no
it's planning
smoke and
on
mirrors.
contingencies because
Right.
they happen every
Right.
single year. If you have a hard winter, if, you know, a roof collapse in one of the schools because of heavy snow, I mean,
So
you gotta have that cushion.
would we like our school system not to have that cushion for maintenance? Because I think part of what it's for is maintenance, right?
I don't know.
I mean, do
it
we want
sounds
them
like
to do we want them to live like this? Is that
Well,
what,
it's
is that
like
our
your own
preference?
home, you know, you always know when you go to do a project of any
something
sort,
aside, yeah.
there's always something else that you
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
foresee. It always happens.
It's always
People's
seven,
experience.
It's always 7 trips to Lowe's instead of 2.
Well, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
Know
I
that
mean,
feeling.
I've had plenty of those, and
Oh,
I think
yeah.
it's no different dealing on a larger scale with school buildings.
Well,
and
unfortunately, I
such.
think we're stuck with what we're stuck with for a couple of years at the county commissioner level and at the Board of Ed level. So,
But we have Hagerstown City Council up next year, and you know I'm the eternal optimist.
But
All right.
this is a great
man.
investment, in my opinion, to do something like
It is.
this. You know, for the city, for everybody.
For the city, for
And
the
everybody
students,
should
for
be
the-
in on it,
There's not a
because-
loser here,
I don't think so.
in my opinion.
no, there's
agree.
not. But, you know, one of the things that I look at, and, you know, and I kind of liken this to the student housing in downtown. I mean, if you're the city and you're planning on this is the way that you're going to bring back your downtown and get people with expendable income downtown, that's not happening, okay? These are kids that don't have expendable income, just like the kids that are going to go into student housing for the University of Maryland. Now, what are they going to spend their money on? They ain't going to have any money to spend. You know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't have an answer. I had an answer one time. I don't have an answer anymore to that, okay? So I don't know what the answer is to bring people with expendable income into downtown.
Bob, I think you got the last word on that.
Thank God.
Stay tuned because in 3 minutes we'll be back to discuss the best and worst of, well, whatever the panelists want to choose, the best of. We'll be right back.